And we're back live in the studio here, Viewpoint 96.3, 648-5510. In case anybody has any comments or questions, I have another pair of guests this morning, and we're going to ask Mrs. Busby to introduce those folks and tell us why they're here.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Norman Horn. Now, doesn't that sound formal, though?
It sounds wonderful.
Are the ones who birthed the idea of having the races out at fairgrounds. And they're going to talk about where this seed of an idea came from and how it's grown. And we welcome you this morning, both of you.
Thank
How
you.
long have you been going out there now? The years go by so quickly, don't they?
This is our 8th year.
Is it already 8?
Hard to believe, yeah.
Very nice. And how is your attendance? Is it growing?
It's growing, yeah. We're
Good.
doing all right.
That's great.
What,
That's what you have to do.
Excuse me, honey, I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, that I think that this is a marvelous thing for the people who follow racing. I have a brother who'd give his right hand, I think, for tickets to races. He just absolutely loves it. And John is not alone, is he? You get quite a following.
Yeah, we do. We really do.
And now do your racers and their cars come from pretty far distance?
It depends on, well, like this weekend coming up, we've got a big 410 wing sprint show.
You'll have to back up a little minute because I don't know those words.
Well, that's the biggest motors for those guys in the wing sprints. I mean, that's the top of the line for the sprint guys.
The really big guys.
The really big guys.
Okay.
We're not talking about junk cars racing here.
No, we're talking about
real
real expensive cars. We're talking about very fast cars.
This is no demo derby.
No, we
not.
don't want a demo derby.
No, we don't.
A.J. Bruns here in Lincoln is one of them. And the little triplet boy. And Chris Irish at Elkhart. Some of the local guys that I know.
Right. And otherwise, they come from as far away as like where?
Oh, they'll be from all the neighboring states, the close states, and I don't know how far past that, but I know all the neighboring states to Illinois will be here, from Missouri.
How many entries do you have at this point?
The last time we did it, we had, how many did we have, Mom?
38 of them.
Is that right?
Pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then how many, like, would heats be the right word?
Yeah, well, we heat them according to how many cars there are. Usually we usually put maybe 8 in a heat. It allows for less wrecks, is what it amounts to. And then we'll take so many out of that heat to come for the feature.
Now there's a physical maintenance of the track as these cars run around that little short track. And how long is that track, Norm?
Well, we advertise it as a quarter of a mile. If you were to measure it, it's longer than a quarter.
Oh, okay.
It's actually one of the biggest quarter-mile racetracks in Illinois.
How can you be a bigger or a smaller quarter mile? You
Well,
what
when
you
we set it up,
fair question.
It's not big enough.
That's
to be,
my bride, Judy.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question, though. When we set it up, we wasn't really sure where the quarter mile was measured from, but we thought we knew how big we wanted to make it, and we actually brought it in 100 feet more than what we started. It's a good thing we did, because the track is very fast, very fast.
How does it get fast? It's not rain, obviously.
Yeah, well, our track is usually heavy because of the type of soil that we've got that we use, and a heavy track is one that's got a lot of moisture in it, so them guys can get a good bite with their car, and it's not, a lot of tracks go dry slick. When it's dry slick, you're actually racing on, there's no moisture in it, so it slows them down.
Do you take a water truck around?
Oh, we put about 60,000 gallons a week on that track. We'll do it 3 days in a row.
Well, now, then, when it goes into the fair time, how do the horses like that?
The horses,
Well, that's
they don't
different.
race on that track.
See, no,
horses don't race.
it's inside. It's a track inside the track.
Yeah.
A track in a track.
Yeah, the horses take the original half mile track.
Yeah. We're inside. We're totally out of the horse track.
You don't mess around with horses?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're in the infield, as they call it.
Oh, all right.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. We're in the infield.
Yeah.
Now then, how long does it, on ads on TV for automobiles, they say that this car can get from 0 to 60 in this many seconds. What about these fellas? How long does it take them to get up to speed?
These guys they'll run 4 laps a minute
Oofta.
around there. 4 laps a minute is what they'll run. They're running over 60 mile an hour. Average speed, over 60 mile an hour. On dirt. On a little quarter mile. I mean, that's not very
short
big.
turns, too. Yeah. Now, excuse me.
Do they get to skidding then when they hit the corner?
They spend most of the time sideways when they go around the corner.
I
They don't
see.
go around the corner straight.
Scary.
Scary. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
The maintenance of the track after, during the course of the week, then you gentlemen are responsible for that, that inside track, to make sure that that's in condition. Is that your responsibility?
That's my job.
It's your job.
Nobody messes with it but me.
Okay. Norm's the guy.
That's right. If I'm going to get a chewing out, it's going to be because of me, not somebody
Okay.
else.
All right. But that's an ongoing job.
Yeah, when I leave here right now, I'm going to go out there and work on the racetrack.
So this is full time then. This isn't a hobby. This is.
My wife and I spend 40 hours a week or more on the racetrack, each of us.
Oofta.
Now, you've been working in concert with the race officials and the board and so forth, and that's things kind of settle down. As things are going pretty well now, are they not?
I tell you, this year started out great, and we went. The city has been real good to us. I can't explain it, but we're getting there. I mean, we're really there right now, And our advertisers, we went out and talked to advertisers. If it wasn't for, I got to tell you, if it wasn't for the city and our advertisers, we wouldn't be here.
Surely, we understand that.
Simple. Our advertisers, and they know who they are, and I thank them for what they did. We got 55 advertisers this year.
That's marvelous.
Now, is
great.
that something you went out and generated for yourselves?
My wife and I went and done that.
Well, I'll take my hat off to you.
And we're going
that's a
to
good job.
get over 100 next year.
Well, they aren't all then local advertisers necessarily. They must be from out of town as well.
The largest percent are from Lincoln, our advertisers.
Uh-huh.
We do have some out-of-town advertisers, but the largest percent of them are from Lincoln.
Well, once again, the community gets behind things, don't they?
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
you're obviously filling a need for entertainment for some folks. There are folks who are real strong followers of your races, and others don't have a particular interest in that at all. But you obviously have a real strong. I think we have a call in just a minute here. We might want to share our headphones here. Either that's my hearing aid or something went wrong. We have a caller, Jim? Yes, go ahead, please, caller.
Hey, I just want to wish Norm good luck this weekend.
Good luck this weekend.
Yes, sir. This is a big weekend in town with all these sprint cars in town. I know a lot of people in town get excited for it.
Well, we appreciate your comments. I take it then that you're a regular attendee?
Yes, I am. I'm also one of the sponsors out there.
Oh, good for you.
Well, thank you. And Norm wants to thank you, and so does my wife, for your participation as a sponsor. Obviously, it makes it very, very important to have good sponsors.
It definitely does. It's really important for Norm to get out and get the sponsorships, but also even more important, it's more important for the town to support them also.
Well, we thank you very much. Did you have anything you want to say to Norm before we sign off?
Just wanted to tell him good luck, because I know I won't get to see him Friday before the race starts. He's always too busy.
Well, thank you very much for calling. Let us have your opinion. Appreciate that.
Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye now. Thank you. Well, it's nice to have that little outside
One of your
support and
fans.
a satisfied sponsor at that.
Yeah.
That's really nice. How did you happen to come with the idea? Let's go to Logan County and see if we can
Let's make this perfectly
What did you say
clear.
about that, Kathy?
I didn't come up with the idea.
Oh, who did?
There's a gentleman by the name of Gary Ball.
Oh, you had an associate originally.
Real good friend of mine.
Uh-huh.
And he got me into this. I didn't know anything about
Have you
racing.
thanked him yet?
Period.
Really?
I told him the next time he came up with a good idea, because he said this was a good idea, I said, Gary, all you're going to see is the cheeks of my rear running.
Didn't know what your friend had gotten you into.
Really.
But it seems to be working out quite nicely now, as you mentioned cooperation with the city and so forth, and obviously the fair board. So this is a nice thing for those folks who enjoy that type of sport.
Yeah, I just love doing it. I mean, to me, it's R&R. Believe it or not, to me, if I can get out there on that, it's a little over 2 acres that I take care of, that racetrack. Mm-hmm. And I know how you ladies feel on Thanksgiving Day when you make this nice meal for everybody. You worked hundreds of hours at it, and then in 5 minutes, it's gone. That's the way my racetrack is. I work all week on that thing, and I get it just as smooth and nice as I can.
Yeah.
And those guys go out there and just tear it
Mess
up.
it up.
But I get to start over and put it back together again.
It's kind of like painting the Golden Gate Bridge, isn't it? You never done.
I just love doing
You
it.
just keep starting over. Well, how in the world, if you weren't a race aficionado?
No.
How in the world do you get into that? I mean, it seems to me that we, generally speaking, get into something that interests us. Don't you think?
That's right. Well, it was interesting to my partner, and he had a boy that was 16 that he started racing these little 4-cylinder cars.
Yes.
And he asked me if I would want to go to a race. So I went with him. And on the way home, he says, "What do you think?" I said, "Next time I go, I'm racing." So I bought a car.
You did?
Fixed it up. Little 4-cylinder car.
Uh-huh.
Before the year was this, I started this in the first of the year. Before the year was over, I won the Fall Nationals with that car over at Spoon River. Big race for them.
Well, my gosh.
So I know how these guys feel. I know how it feels when you're out there racing them cars. I mean, it's a feeling like, it's a thrill.
Well, it has to be that, because certainly the purses just can't be that big, you know.
Oh, they can't?
Oh, they can. Well, Billy, stand corrected.
Yeah. Well, when we was partners over at True Speed in Farmer City, we partnered there too, and last year we split up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we had a race over there.
Uh-huh.
What did they call that race?
World of Outlaws.
It was a World Outlaw late model race that we put on in April, and this lady wrote checks to drivers for $104,000.
No kidding.
Well, that's attention-getting.
Yeah.
Well, that covers their gas to get to the race, doesn't it?
Well, there was different ones. It was $20,000 to win, and then the second place guy, and then everybody else, the support classes in there. Everybody gets paid something. So it's not. We could do wonderful if we didn't have to pay the drivers.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure that's right.
Unfortunately, you wouldn't have any drivers, so maybe you wouldn't do so
have too
wonderful.
many, you know.
Now, I don't understand the terminology. I don't know the terminology of the racing. At what level, in other words, the bigger cars that have to race on larger tracks, where are we in horsepower, or however you determine the categories?
The cars
I'm just not knowledgeable.
The cars that race with us are the same cars that raced on the Springfield Mile.
Oh.
Last weekend.
Oh, I didn't know.
Are the same cars that raced over at Macon on a 1/5 of a mile. So, I mean, there are 800 horse cars racing on a 1/5 of a mile over at Macon, racing at a 1/4 of a mile at us, racing on the mile at Springfield. They just put different gears in them. They gear them for, I don't know how many RPMs they run, maybe 8,000, 8,000 RPMs, but they put the different gear in there, so that's as high as they get on that.
What's a typical race as far as entries are concerned? How many entries do you have on a typical race?
I would say, what would you say, Mo?
Oh, we've probably averaged 85 this year.
That's quite a few.
What age average are the drivers?
Oh, we had a guy last week that won his heat. 73 years old.
Just a kid.
Well, he and I were about twins.
Just a kid.
Maybe I'd get me a car.
We had a young man that was there for the first time,
It's 14.
14.
Well, of course, you don't have to have a driver's license because you're not on a public throughway,
Right.
are you?
So, and we've got everything in between.
Now, excuse me.
I'm just amazed. I'm just amazed. And how about your audience? What are they? The whole range too?
Absolutely, the
Babies
whole range.
to great grandpas,
Everything.
men and women alike.
Yeah, the whole family. The babies with the muffles on them.
Oh yes, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see
which I would recommend that. I mean, if you take young
Oh
kids,
yes,
you ought to give them some ear protection. It's loud, you know.
yes it is. But now I understand that you get better performance from your car if it's not muffled.
No, that's not true.
Where is it then? Why is it then?
Well, you can't. You'll never be able to put the type of mufflers on these cars that you do a normal car
Because
because of the compression. They'd blow the muffler off.
oh well.
But they do put
yes.
mufflers on these cars. A lot of our cars, most of our cars have them. The big horsepower cars have mufflers on them, and it doesn't affect their performance any. What it does, it takes the high pitch out of the noise.
The
Takes-
whiny.
Takes the high pitch out of it. Yeah,
I can figure that. Just take out my hearing aids.
there you go.
See, old age has its ups and downs, doesn't it? Some are ups.
Mostly. So this year is going along very well for you. Do you have the plans now? I'm sure you look ahead and plan ahead for the next race season, which will start when?
When did we start this year?
First weekend of April.
First, and when will you shut down here at Logan County?
This week's it.
Oh, this is it.
This is it. So if anybody out there wants to, if they want to see one of our races this year, they're going to have to come Friday. So there is no more.
And it will start what time, Norm?
We start racing at 7. Hot lap 6:30, racing at 7.
And a full card will take you through to about what time?
We'd like to be done by 10 o'clock.
Yes,
You know.
right. Well, that's right. You do have an agreement with the community to be done
Absolutely.
by whatever time it is.
Right.
And I dare say you do observe that.
We do. I mean, they said they're going to fine us $1,000, and I said, I'll never pay the fine.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Well, you've worked.
know.
You have worked in concert. I mean, you've had a lot of good faith workmanship here.
They've been good to us. They've been good to us this year. We went in there and asked for 3 extensions because we had some special races. Our special races, like this race this weekend, is a special race. And we have an extension for this weekend if we need it. I don't think we will, but if we do, they give us 3 extensions, and they was going to give us some more. And I said, if you give me 3, that's all we need, you know? I mean, they've really been good to us. Very good to us.
What will your attendance be in the stands, do you figure, just because this is a really big race?
I think the last time it was like 1,100.
Yeah, 1,100.
So,
Well, by golly,
and we
more
probably
power
had
to you.
600. We probably had close to 2,000 people there.
That is just wonderful.
Yeah.
Brings a lot of folks in here then. Go ahead, Norm.
We,
you want to make a point?
I think it was the Summer Nationals, wasn't it?
Summer Nationals, yeah.
Summer Nationals, it takes us quite a while to get everything, you know, when the night's over with, we're not through.
Oh,
You know,
no.
we've got everything to put up. And then Marty Spears and his wife and his family, they work for nothing for us because they want to see the track be successful.
Interesting. Yeah.
So we sat down. Marty's the race director. He takes care of the complaints. Poor old Marty. They're up cussing him out all
He's
night.
customer service, huh?
Yeah, he's customer service, but he's good at it. I mean, he doesn't get upset.
Bless
I
his
get,
heart.
you know, I mean, I get, maybe because I'm older, I get upset easier than he does. I don't know, but Marty does a wonderful job with those guys. But we went down to Steak and Shake. We usually get down there at 1 or
12:30 to 1.
12:30 to 1 o'clock is when we get down to Steak and Shake. And then we sit there and we talk about everything that happened during the night and what we could do, you know, the complaints that Marty got and what we can do to maybe correct it. And when we left there at 2:30 that morning, they put a close sign on the door. And Marty said, what's that about? He says, we're out of food. Truck doesn't get here till 4 o'clock in the morning. So they was closed for an hour and a half.
Okay.
You know, I guess my point is, for people that doesn't think the racetrack has an impact, it sold them out of food.
Well, good deal.
You know what I mean? It had a heck of an impact that night.
Well, you know, Judith Kay, it occurs to me that the Horns might be just about like what old Tom Jefferson said as we close Viewpoint. We thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Norm Horn, for being with us this morning. Tell us good about the Lincoln Speedway. Is that the official name?
That's official.
Okay.
That's official.
Gosh,
And that's one thing you got to remember. It
Yes,
is
please.
Lincoln's Speedway. When her and I are gone, and we're not going to be here forever, that Speedway belongs to Lincoln, Illinois. It's Lincoln Speedway.
Well, that's a nice way to close here. Yeah, thank
Bless
you.
your heart.
You know, there's a good example of what old Tom said. Pretty smart old dude, wasn't he? Thomas Jefferson said, "I am a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it." And that would seem to indicate what the Horns are doing here at Lincoln Speedway. Thank you very much, Norm.
Thank you.
Norm, thank you very much.